Welcome to Stop the Fight. And today we are talking about Pacquiao's defeat at the hands of your Pacquiao-Ugas. Let's go!
Don't brag about taking my side piece! Don't brag about taking my side piece, though!
I broke my back. Back is broken. Spinal.
He's strong man, good boy, just...
Wow. He did it. Your Pacquiao-Ugas. Unanimous decision victory over Manny Pacquiao. The scores were 116, 112 two times, 115, 113 one time. Wow, guys. It felt like that was it. It felt like that was Manny Pacquiao's last fight in a way, right? Even if it's not his last fight, it felt like it was his end. I myself had the fight 116, 112. Ugas as well. And I think it could have even been a little bit wider. I wouldn't have been completely shocked seeing 117, 111. I thought 115, 113 was about as good as you can give it to Pacquiao in that fight. I thought if you gave Pacquiao the benefit of the doubt on some of those rounds, that's kind of how you have it. I did not think it would be closer than 115, 113. So I thought that they really couldn't. I mean, it's boxing, anything can happen, but I did not feel the judges were going to give it to Pacquiao. He wasn't the same. Well, I mean, that's not fair also to Ugas. But he wasn't the same. This was not the same Pacquiao. He was a tad slower, a little bit weaker, but he seemed clumsier. And this will happen with age, of course. Manny always used to have this issue when he would charge or lunge in at you with his shots. If you can either time up or start moving, Manny Pacquiao would square up and kind of get out of position, and his footwork would be all over the place. And you kind of have that. He tried the Lomachenko moves a few times in the fight. He doesn't have the same coordination as Lomachenko. He doesn't center his body the same way over his feet, so they don't come out the same way. And Ugas was really landing a quite significant amount of shots, especially that straight right hand, sorry. That straight right hand found a home often. Manny Pacquiao was a smaller man, and he did look like it. He looked like the smaller man, the physically slightly weaker man. The speed difference, where you thought Manny Pacquiao would be significantly faster, was only evident really in the hand speed, and not. It didn't matter when he wasn't in position to throw. The hand speed was kind of nullified by Ugas. He knew what to do, and it was quite a performance by him. But I really think the story of this fight is not going to be how well Ugas performed. And he performed well. He did what he had to do to beat Manny Pacquiao. But it was more, I think, the decline and the end of Manny Pacquiao. I don't even want to say decline. He's a 42-year-old man. He did well for a 42-year-old man. But clearly, this is kind of the end of the line for him. That victory over Keith Thurman, I think, will go down as one of those last hurrah type of a deal. Taking undefeated champs, like that at 40 years old. Vintage of Manny Pacquiao. He hurt Thurman, put him down in the first. That right there was kind of your last breath, Maybe like a round 2 of Roy Jones-Calzaghe, where Roy Jones was in round 1, where he knocks down Calzaghe, and you're like, holy shit, we have Roy Jones back. But it was a last glimpse. It happens sometimes. Maybe now you kind of had the same thing with Kovalev with his win over Yard, right? A last bit of the old crusher. Maybe you're over his outboxing of Alvarez. And this, I think, it was just that. It was the Manny Pacquiao was significantly older and smaller, and the foot speed wasn't there. I know he said like he was cramping in his legs again, but he kind of looked like the same Manny Pacquiao to me, except just a little bit worse everywhere. And remember, boxing is centimeters, millimeters, inches, as you want to say. Even inches are too big. Punches that just miss you in rounds 1 and 2 will start to hit you in rounds 7 and 8. And punches that just miss you when you're 31, 32 will start hitting you when you're 41, 42, or the distance that you close. You can't do it. So you just stood at the right distance the entire time. Up close, Manny Pacquiao was just too small, too weak to do anything to him, And in the first, there were issues in the first half. I think after 5 rounds, I'm not mistaken whether I had a 3-2 Pacquiao or a 3-2 Ugas, but let's say I had a 3-2 Pacquiao. But I was already getting worried because it seemed like Manny Pacquiao was having a tough go out in the first 5, and the older man is going to have a tough go on it later on. And Pacquiao was never like a particularly strong closer. I never felt like if Pacquiao was busting you up early on, that's a good indicator. But if he's not, then yeah, it's not going to get any better, basically, for him. And it didn't. And he took the damage, and I think maybe he took one of the later rounds. I don't exactly remember. Again, I'm doing the show a little late. It's a Tuesday over here. I was busy these past few days. Sorry, guys. So I wasn't able to get this one out. But, well, so Ugas becomes the WBA champ right now. And he gets a payday. So, remember, this is first and foremost, we are happy for Ugas not only because he put on a performance and beat a legend, but because he also gets a payday. We love to see our fighters get paid. That is the most important thing when you're watching these guys. Of course, the most important thing is that our bets work out. But a second most important thing is that the fighters who we love to watch, who go out there and get their heads punched in, get concussed, and in super rare cases, give their lives, we want them to get paid all the time. Manny Pacquiao has gotten paid. He's covered. He's a senator in the Philippines. He'll run for president. Maybe he'll join Duterte. Who knows? But Ugas, he's a 35-year-old Cuban American who with 27 wins, 4 defeats. He's not a power puncher. He's not a name that rolls off your tongue like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see him fight Terrence Crawford or something. But now he gets a payday for sure. He's gonna get a real fight. I mean, this was a real fight, but this is what happens. You win a fight like this, your next one is gonna pay out. And for Ugas, we should be happy for that first and foremost. The guy is going to get paid. You paid his dues. He fought a lot of top contenders. He lost his share. He won his share. And now he was able to beat the legend, Manny Pacquiao. What does this loss do to Manny Pacquiao's career? Well, it does nothing for his legacy. I mean, for nor against, guys, because anyone who's saying this loss to Ugas shows Manny Pacquiao as a fraud, you guys are insane. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao who just had a close competitive fight with Ugas that he did lose. And this is very evidently not anywhere near the prime Pacquiao. Throughout the entire pay-per-view, you saw the highlights. They kept showing the Ricky Hatton knockout. This was nowhere near the same Pacquiao from the 2009 Ricky Hatton. When Pacquiao when he was doing what he was doing in 2007, 8, 9, and 10, the defeats of Cotto, Hatton, De La Hoya, Marquez, Barrera, Shane Mosley. I mean, Jesus, you look at this, resume, and it's quite insane. It's truly a legendary resume. This loss does nothing. It doesn't take away any wins before you guys get crazy. It doesn't give you any wins. People always say, "Oh, Manny Pacquiao, if Floyd Mayweather just fought him a different way, blah blah blah." Guys, the way Floyd Mayweather fights. It was up to Manny to cut off the ring. He never did that. Torn rotator cuff or no torn rotator cuff. I'll tell you the truth. Even if the fight was made in 2009 when Manny was at the height of his power, the absolute height of his power, knocking Cotto out like that. Even then, I do not believe that Manny Pacquiao would beat Floyd Mayweather. I believe the styles are all wrong here. They are all wrong. And it would have never happened, guys. Maybe the fight would have been closer, but maybe not, because Floyd was also younger and better in 2009 than he was in 2015. Remember, Floyd Mayweather was more or less done in 2015. He really was. He had one more real fight after Manny Pacquiao against Andre Berto. But that was already a washed Berto. Well, not washed, but that was already a significantly diminished Berto, who he just cleaned. I don't think he lost a single round in that fight. Yeah. So I think that Manny Pacquiao is going down as one of the greatest of all time. This loss doesn't do it. This doesn't catapult him into the top 3 or top 5, but I think he's right in that bordering top 10, low end of the top 10 range. An insane, truly a legendary career. You rarely get these kind of fighters, these kind of careers with these kind of resumes. You rarely do. This is really rare stuff, guys. And I hope you understand that this loss does not diminish him anyway. Because why am I harping on this? Because some of you guys are insane. Some of the things I'm reading online about how this he was always overrated, he was always a bum, and blah blah blah. Please, guys, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Certainly one of the 2, 3 greatest fighters, 3, 4 greatest fighters I've ever seen in my life. Maybe even the greatest fighter, not the best, but the greatest fighter I've seen in my life. Again, greatness and best, I think, are 2 different things. I think maybe Manny Pacquiao is probably the greater fighter between him and Floyd, but he is not the better fighter. At least I don't think so. It wasn't proven so in the ring. Similarly with Roy Jones, who was, I think, the best fighter I've ever seen, but maybe not the greatest because, resume and opposition faced, this kind of stuff, number of world championships, this kind of stuff all matters when you're talking about great, but not necessarily head-to-head or just a better fighter. So I think maybe Manny Pacquiao takes a soft one his next fight. It's not in his style, but it looks like he's severely thinking of a retirement. I think it would be okay if he did one more fight, maybe do it in the Philippines. Do it over there, takes on some guy who's not going to hurt you, who will box with you for 12. Maybe someone you don't want to hurt. You just wanted the fans one last time to see you. You throw some flurries. You land some straight lefts. And I think it's time to call it a day. I think... by the way, before anyone says, oh, Spence would have killed him, Spence would have been a different fight. I think Ugas was doing different things in there. I think the way he was setting him up and tying him, that's not the way Spence fights. But I do now strongly believe that had it been Spence in there, I don't know. I don't know how I feel for that for Manny Pacquiao. But it's not a guaranteed loss before the rest of you guys, like I said, go crazy and say that he's definitely going to lose. No. Because, again, styles really do make fights. And Spence is a different style. So I think he's going to... If I were him, I would take, at best, one more fight. Say in the Philippines. Say goodbye to the fans. And go, enjoy your life. You're 42 years old. Nobody fights forever, and he had an extraordinarily long career. It's hard to believe that he fought in the mid-90s. We're not talking about the late 90s. Some of these careers, like, he fought in 99 and he's still fighting, which is still insane. But he fought in 95, guys. In 95, the 147-pound Manny Pacquiao fought at 106 pounds, and that's something, right? His first loss was, just to give you an example, was in 96. So, truly a legendary career. Truly a legend who, I don't know the next time we'll see someone quite like this with this kind of resume. So for Ugas, for our boy Ugas, what does he do? Who does he fight? He's a champ now. Guys. Where does he go? Who can he beat at welterweight? Well, he'll tell you he'll beat anybody at welterweight, right? And on a good night maybe he would, but I don't know. This is the top 2. I think are they're going to be a little out of reach for him. They're your Terrence Crawfords and your Earl Spences, right? How do you beat the guys who are about your size here, right? He's a little bit bigger than Crawford by an inch, but he has Earl Spence's size. It's tough. Who else is up here? Sean Porter. He's already lost to Porter. Close fight. Lost to Porter. Danny Garcia. I think, Danny Garcia has definitely not looked like himself, but I'm hearing rumors he's going to go up to 154, which I think, as I've mentioned before, is a bad idea for Danny. There's also, obviously, Josito Lopez, Virgil Ortiz. Do not, under any circumstances, fight Virgil Ortiz. I don't suggest anyone, but the top 2 guys fight Virgil Ortiz. That's how good he looked last time. That's what he proved to me last time. No. So, but whatever it is, like I said, look, all I'm happy for Ugas is that he gets a payday. And I think that is truly an important thing. Again, just an amazing performance. He did exactly what he had to do. It wasn't controversial at all. Sometimes you get these sometimes when a legend loses, it's because of a close, controversial fight, and it's kind of sour taste in everyone's mouth. Every single person outside of a few Twitter loonies, I don't think a single person thought that Ugas lost this fight or Manny Pacquiao won. This was, I thought, a close but clear decision for Ugas. He outlanded him. He landed the harder shots, marked him up, moved well, tied him up when he needed to, had him off balance. All around, just an amazing and very, very, very top-level performance by a top-level guy. I think Ugas did prove that he may not be pound for pound, but he's certainly a top guy worthy of world championship contention yet again. I think he's proved it before, but he's absolutely proved it now. And for this, he will get paid. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about a little bit of boxing news. We do have the confirmation that I didn't speak about it, although maybe I should speak about this on Thursday, and I think I will. But Canelo has now signed to fight Plant in November. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get another undisputed. Can you believe this, guys? This is really turning out, and I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. We are in a golden era of boxing. We're really gonna get another undisputed fighter, another undisputed chance. I spent the last half of 15 years, or however long I'm following now boxing, 16 years. All the complaints online have been, there are too many champions. And there are still, obviously, with the nonsense going on. I think it's the WBA, which has like 4 champs in each division. Outside of that nonsense, we are now, I think, have had more undisputeds in the past 5 years or 6 years than we've had in the previous, 20 years. That's insane. And that is a sign that we are in this era of boxing. We're going to look back. We're going to see undisputeds from Crawford to Taylor to Usyk. Now either Plant or Canelo. I mean, guys, this is some stuff right here, right? You know, we had what's his name, Lomachenko on the verge. We truly have some stuff. The heavyweight belts may get unified, guys. We may literally look at this. And not literally, we will. Not we may. We will look at this as a golden era of boxing. So with Canelo, look, all I'm trying to say is that Canelo, whatever it is that he had to do to get the Plant fight signed, he did it. He's proven once again that legacy is key. Legacy. And for this, I think fighters get rewarded. Now, the odds. Now, this is some crazy stuff. I'm seeing plus 475 for Plant. Plus 475. Guys, if that is not the odds you give, let me put it to you this way. Against world-class championship level talent, under no circumstances, at least for me, guys, please, everyone makes their own bets. Everyone does their own thing. You're all grown people. Please. You do what you want with your money. You do not go to this channel for financial advice. You're only doing this for, I guess, more research. Research, there, that's a good one. You're doing this for research. You know, I'm looking at Odds Shark right now. This is not 475, but it's plus 400. Guys, plus 400? I mean, this is still from back in May, but, what in the hell? Against any world-class fighter, or with any world-class fighter, if you see plus 400, I'm always putting money on plus 400. Always. That's what I'm doing. Plus 400, that's where I'm betting. That's where I'm putting money. I don't even necessarily think Plant wins, but plus 400, even plus 300, you have to go. You almost have to go. Against a naturally bigger guy. You know, we will say, oh, Billy Joe Saunders had the bad odds. Billy Joe Saunders was a similar 160-pound guy that was moving up with him. This isn't a natural super middle. I don't know. I'm not saying Canelo loses, but I'm saying plus 400 absolutely gives me the confidence in my boy Caleb Plant. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Plus, we don't necessarily bet on who's going to win. Like I told you, betting on who's going to win is easy most of the time. You're going to be right 80-85% of the time if you're just going on betting who's going to win. The point is to also make money or find the inefficiencies of the casino plays. In this case, plus 400. I'm just telling you right now, that's a Caleb Plant play for me, regardless of whether I actually think he wins this one fight. So, guys, again, congratulations to Ugas. Manny Pacquiao, salute you as a legend and as a hero of the Philippines. If you never fight again, you're one of the greatest ever. And we'll talk about this weekend on a Thursday. It's over.
I'm gonna go home and break my wife's hip.
Don't brag about taking my side piece. Don't brag about taking my side piece, though.
I broke my back. Back is broken. Spinal.
He's strong, man. Good boy. You know, just.